Bienvenidos a Aprendamos Español 2. Yo soy Dr. Daniel Viamonte, su maestro de Español 2, y junto con su facilitador vamos a terminar lección 2 de unidad 2. ¿Recuerdan ustedes lo que hicimos la última vez? Last time we were discussing nationalities, the 20 different countries that have Spanish as their number one language, and we reviewed the capitals as well as the geographic location. We asked and answered questions about our past summer vacations. We took a look at Para Empezar, El pájaro de los siete colores. Remember, that was the one where the father was blind and the three sons tried to help the father recover his sight. We also did the preterite of additional regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. We assigned homework number 1, page 83. Using the following verbs on page 83 under the pictures: hablar for number 2, number 3, jugar, number 4, tocar, 5, calificar, 6, pasear, 7, escuchar, and 8, trabajar. Also on homework number 2, page 82 in your Dime Dos book, activity A, 1 through 9. Homework number 3, defining from the list of AR and ER and IR verbs. We wanted you to select any 3 verbs from each of those groups, the AR, the ER, and the IR verbs, so that you'd have a total of 9 verbs. And then for each of those verbs, give us the 5 forms of the preterite: the yo, the tú, the él, the nosotros, and the ellos. Facilitator, would you please collect the homework assignments at this time? Thank you. Hoy vamos a comentar sobre animales del Amazonas, el vocabulario del cuaderno, el pretérito ir, ser, hacer, en la telenovela ¿Qué decimos? Al hablar de lo que hicimos. A review of the present tense. We're going to practice exercises in the preterite for regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. Bueno, vamos a hablar sobre los animales del selva. These are jungle, tropical animals of the Amazonas, the Amazon, and their names. Vocabulario del cuaderno, página 20. La anaconda. La anaconda. Snake. I think we also call it anaconda in English. La boa. La boa. The boa constrictor. El caimán. El caimán. Crocodile, a reptile, the crocodile. Caimán. La capibara. La capibara. The capybara, which is a large South American rodent. La culebra, snake. La guacamaya, that's the macaw bird. El jaguar, the jaguar, it's cat-like. El pájaro, bird. La piraña, the piranha fish. La piraña. Salvaje, wild or savage. La serpiente, snake. El tapir, tapir. The tapir. You'll see the pictures of these in your Dime Dos book. Let's talk about the preterite. When do you use the preterite tense? Well, you use it with action that has happened, action that is finished and completed, an action that expresses a series of distinct events that have already taken place. Now, let's look at 3 irregular verbs. The first verb is ir, to go. Follow along with me, please. First person singular, fui. Remember, in Spanish, you could put the word yo fui. But fui by itself also means I went. Second person singular, fuiste. Or you could put tú fuiste, you went. Third person singular, fue. He or she went. In the first person plural, the regular preterite of ir is fuimos. Fuimos. We went. And the third person plural, fueron. Fueron. They went. Let's practice some examples of ir. Number 1, Gino y Maria. And what would you put for ir? A Venezuela. Now, looking at number 1, we have more than one person, Gino and Maria. Are you included? No. So if you're not included, we're looking for the third person plural. And as you can see, fueron is what we're looking for. Gino and Maria fueron a Venezuela. Number 2, yo. Now here we're giving you the clue. Yo, first person singular. Now what is the first person singular of ir in the preterite? Yo fui a Argentina el año pasado. Yo fui a Argentina el año pasado. Y número 3, Martín y yo. Now this time we have 2 people, but you are included. And remember, if you are included in the plural, it is the we form. So, Martín y yo fuimos a Nueva York el año pasado. Number 4, yo blank al cine la semana pasada. That's right, you got it. The yo is the I, therefore it's fui. Yo fui al cine la semana pasada. And number 5, número 5, ellas, third person plural, fueron a la clase de español. Fueron. And now you have seen how to use ir, which is an irregular verb, in the preterite tense. Let's take a look at the next one. Ser. Remember, ser means to be. Look at that. It's exactly the same as ir. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. So both for ir and ser, the preterite is identical. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. And depending on the sentence, you will know whether it is ser or whether it is ir. I was, you were, he or she were, we were, and they were. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. Let's practice. El viaje blank chévere. Do you recognize the word chévere? Okay. El viaje, the trip, third person singular, fue chévere. The trip was fantastic. Número 2. Los hombres, that's right, third person plural, fueron muy altos. Número 3, Laura fue estupenda. Número 4, tú, the second person, singular, fuiste. Tú fuiste fenomenal, fenomenal. Y número 5, nosotros. See, the clues always help you. Nosotros is what? First person plural. Fuimos. Muy bueno. We were very good. Okay. The last irregular verb that I want to look at this time is hacer, to make or to do. Hice, hiciste, hizo, hicimos, hicieron. Yo hice, I made. Tú hiciste, you made. Él or ella or usted hizo. Remember, the H is silent. Hizo, he or she made. Hicimos, we made. Hicieron, they made. Let's practice with some examples using hacer in the preterite tense. Número 1. ¿Qué blank ustedes? Now, ustedes is the clue, third person plural, hicieron. Hicieron, remember? Number 2, número 2. Yo hice la tarea. Yo, first person singular. Y número 3. Los estudiantes buenos blank la tarea. Hicieron. Hicieron. Los estudiantes, third person plural. Number 4. La profesora no blank la tarea. Profesora, third person singular, hizo. Hizo. Y número 5, yo blank la tarea también. Yo hice. Yo hice la tarea también. I hope you understood some of the examples that we went through, and we tried to show you that in each of them there is a clue as to whether you use the first person, second person, third person, singular, first person, third person, plural. I hope that helps. And those are for the irregular verbs. In today's telenovela, ¿qué decimos al hablar de lo que hicimos? Let's review some of the vocabulary and some of the expressions that the telenovela will use on page 79, starts on page 79 and goes through page 81, in your textbook, Dime Dos. Here are some of the words that you will be hearing and seeing in today's telenovela. Jóvenes. Jóvenes. You would use jóvenes when you're talking about young people. Geografía. Geografía. It's a course, geography. Geografía. Geography. Para hacerlos reflexionar sobre. To have us reflect over something. Para hacerlos reflexionar sobre. La vida diaria. La vida diaria. Daily life. La vida diaria. ¿Empezamos? Should we start? ¿Empezamos? No entiendo. No entiendo. I do not understand. Seguramente. surely. Do you remember the M-E-N-T-E? That is the sign that this is an adverb. Surely, like in English, the L-Y tells us it's an adverb. Seguramente, surely. Restaurante chino. Yes, Chinese restaurant. Restaurante chino. Italiano. Italian. Italiano. Película francesa. French movie. Película francesa. Novela sobre el espía inglés. It's a novel about English spies. An example would be something like James Bond, 007. Novela sobre el espía inglés. Ya. Well, in English we would see it, ha. Pero en español, ha. Telenovela argentina. Well, you know the word telenovela, soap opera. So this is an Argentinian soap opera. Telenovela argentina. Ay, se me olvidó. Se me olvidó. I forgot. Se me olvidó. Vinieron a visitarnos. Vinieron a visitarnos. They came to visit us. Vinieron a visitarnos. ¿A dónde fuiste? ¿A dónde? Remember one of those question words? ¿A dónde fuiste? Where did you go? Estuve en. I was in. Chévere. Fantastic. Great. Científico ambiental. Científico ambiental. Environmental scientist. Cuéntanos todo. Tell us everything. Cuéntanos todo. ¿No te dio miedo? ¿No te dio miedo? Were you not scared? Espera. Espera. Wait. Iniciamos. Iniciamos. We initiated or we started. ¿Viste animales salvajes? ¿Viste animales salvajes? Did you see wild animals? ¿No te asustaron? ¿No te asustaron? Did they not scare you? ¡Qué tonto eres! How silly or foolish you are. ¡Qué tontos eres! Quítate. Quítate. Stop it. Quítate. Tarea con este tema. Homework with this theme or subject. Un informe. A report. Un informe. A report. El contacto más interesante que tuvieron con otra cultura. The most interesting contact they have had with another culture. Now, what we've tried to do is to review some of the terms and some of the words that you will be hearing in this telenovela. You don't have to memorize them. It was a review to give you an opportunity that as you hear and see this telenovela, you'll keep in mind what those words were. So let's watch the telenovela and remember that the main characters today are Luis, Mechi, Salvador, Chela, and the geography teacher. Now I want you to pay particular attention at the very beginning. Now the teacher, the geography teacher, will be walking into the classroom. And I want you to notice what the students do. Let's watch the video.
Al hablar de lo que hicimos. 1. Una actividad especial.
Buenos días, jóvenes. Atención, por favor. Hoy vamos a empezar nuestro estudio de geografía con una actividad especial. Esta actividad es para hacerlos reflexionar sobre el contacto que tenemos con otras culturas en la vida diaria. Bueno, trabajando en grupos, quiero que preparen una lista de lo que hicieron durante las vacaciones que tiene que ver con otras culturas. ¿Está claro? Sí. Bien, ahora en grupos de 4, por favor.
Pues somos 4. ¿Empezamos?
No entiendo. Yo ni salí de Caracas.
No importa, Meche. Hiciste algo seguramente. Por ejemplo, ¿no comiste en algún restaurante chino?
Pues sí, y también en uno italiano. Ah, y en otro mexicano.
2. ¿Qué hiciste tú?
¿Qué hiciste tú, Salvador?
Pues vi una película francesa. Ah, y también leí una novela sobre el espía inglés James Bond. Fue muy interesante leerla.
¡Ay, qué culto!
Pues, ¿y tú qué hiciste? ¿Viste una telenovela argentina?
No, en realidad vi algunos programas norteamericanos en la televisión. Y también fui a visitar a mis tíos en Bogotá.
Ay, se me olvidó. Mis primos alemanes vinieron a visitarnos.
Y ahora lo recuerdas.
3. Hice un viaje.
¿Y tú, Chela, qué hiciste?
Yo hice un viaje.
¿A dónde fuiste?
No les dije. Estuve en Brasil.
¡Chévere! ¿Y por qué Brasil?
Mi padre es científico ambiental y nos llevó en un viaje por el río Amazonas.
Cuéntanos todo. ¿Dónde empezaste el viaje? ¿Cuánto tiempo duró? ¿Cuántas personas fueron? ¿Qué viste? ¿No te dio miedo?
Espera un momento, por favor.
4. Pirañas.
A ver, iniciamos el viaje en el lago de Cuarí y fuimos hasta Manaos. Fue toda la familia, mi hermano, mi hermana, mis padres y yo. Pasamos 2 meses en la selva.
¿Viste animales salvajes?
Ay, sí, muchos. Vimos guacamayas, jaguares, capibaras, tapires y muchos caimanes.
¿No te asustaron?
No, para nada. Solo las pirañas me asustaron.
¡Pirañas! ¿Y había culebras?
Sí, vimos varias anacondas y boas.
¿De veras? Me encantan las serpientes.
Uy, qué tonto eres.
Salvador, quítate. Yo las odio.
Silencio, por favor. Como veo que todavía no terminaron, les voy a dar una tarea relacionada con este tema para la próxima clase. Por favor, escriban un informe sobre el contacto más interesante que tuvieron con otra cultura durante las vacaciones.
Did you students notice what happened when the professor walked into the room? That's right, they stood up. Now, you know, that's very common in Spanish-speaking countries. There's a great deal of respect given to teachers. And so whenever a teacher walks into the room, the students will automatically, out of respect, stand up. It's probably not a bad idea. What do you guys think? Now that we've seen the telenovela, for homework, I'd like you to review the questions on Activity B, page 82, in Dime Dos. Activity B, page 82, in Dime Dos. And those questions relate back to the telenovela. Now let's turn to page 84. Let's take a few minutes to review the endings for both the present tense and the preterite tense of regular verbs. Here on this chart, we're going to compare present and preterite verbs that end in AR, ER, and IR. In the present tense, you'll notice in black, for the AR and the ER and the IR, it ends in O. The preterite, in this case the letters marked in red, end in E with an accent, I with an accent. The to form, the third person singular, the he, she, usted form. The we form, the first person plural. Again, notice in the black we're talking about the present tense ending, and that's what you would add to the stem of a regular verb. The third person plural. So if it's an AR verb in the present tense, it ends with the O, the AS, the A, the AMOS, and the AN. The ER verb in the present tense ends in O, ES, E, EMOS, EN. And the IR verb in the present tense ends in O, ES, E, IMOS, and EN. Looking at the red letters for regular AR verbs in the preterite, aste, o, amos, aron. For the ER and the IR, remember these are the same. Iste, io, imos, ieron. And that's what you would add to the stem of regular ER and regular IR verbs when you're discussing it in the preterite tense. This is just a chart to help you remember the endings for the present as well as the preterite. I hope it helps. It's a good way to review. Let's take a look at some examples of present tense AR verbs. Las chicas blank basketball. Now what would you put here? What's the clues? Chicas, that's plural. Are you included? Probably not, because it doesn't say you and the girls. So it would be third person plural. Practican basketball. The girls practice basketball. Daniel e Imelda. The verb is esperar, to wait. El autobús. Remember, autobús means bus. So we have two people. Are you included? No. So we're looking for the third person plural, present tense of esperar. You take the stem, E-S-P-E-R, and what would you add? Esperan. Correct. Third examples. Ellos no, and the verb is trabajar. Ellos, third person plural. You're not included, right? What would I do to trabajar? Correct. Trabajan. Trabajan. Let's take a look at number 4. The verb is pasear. Ellos blank en bicicleta por la tarde. Okay, third person plural. Pasean. Good, you're doing well. Let's take a look at the last example for present tense AR verbs. Nosotros, caminar, walk, al colegio, to school. Who's walking? Nosotros. That's correct. It's the first person plural. So you would, to the stem of caminar, you drop the AR and you add caminamos. Correct. Very good. Now let's look at some present tense ER verb examples. Number 1, Philip, Laura, and Carol comer pizza. Comen. Third person plural. There are 3 people. You're not included in those 3. Too bad. It was probably good pizza. Let's take a look at number 2. El señor y la señora Martínez. The verb is leer, to read. El periódico, newspaper. More than one. You're not included. Plural. Leen. Next example. Yo, the verb is correr, todos los días. Yo, first person, singular. Yo corro. Yo corro. Número 4. Nosotras, the verb is beber, leche con la cena. Now notice this time we use nosotras. What does that tell you? Yes, it's first person plural, but it also lets you know that it's all females. Because remember, had there been but one male in that group of us, it would have been nosotros. So you know in Spanish when it's all feminine. So what would you use? First person plural of the verb beber. Oh, by the way, cena is dinner. Bebemos. And what is it that they drink? They drink milk. Number 5. El niño blank hoy una pulgada. Crecer. To grow. Pulgada, inch. Una, 1. The child grew 1 inch today. Third person singular. Creció. Let's take a look at the IR verbs in the present tense. Escribir una tarjeta postal. What would you do here? Escribe. Escribe. Number 2. Yo blank en Texas. Yo blank from the verb vivir in Texas. Now you may not recognize Texas, but that's Texas in Spanish. Texas. Yo vivo. Correct. Third example. Nosotras blank en un gran apartamento nuevo. Now that word looks like apartment, yes? Apartamento nuevo, new apartment. So who is it that is living? We, the gals, are living in a great new apartment. So what would you use? Vivimos. Vivimos. Número 4. Hoy yo cumplir 17 años. Cumplir is to celebrate or to complete. So today I completed my 16th birthday. Cumplo. And finally, tú insistir una camisa. The tú suggests insistes, the es ending, the second person singular. Now, in the present tense, you're talking about things that are currently happening. In the preterite tense, remember, you're talking about things that were completed in the past. It's already taken place. They're events that are over with in the past. So let's take a look at number 1. Remember the verb bailar, to dance. What would you use? Tú bailaste en una discoteca. Good. Good for you. Let's try the next one. Usted comprar un sombrero. Comprar, to buy. Compró. Correct. Number 3. Ana, escuchar. Escuchó. Third person. Correct. Number 4. Nosotros. Who is studying? Or who studied? We studied. Estudiamos. Estudiamos. And number 5. Ellos caminaron 3 millas. They walked 3 miles. So much for the AR verbs in the preterite tense. Let's take a look at the preterite tense ER verbs. Remember, leer is to read. Yo leí, con acento, ¿eh? Yo leí una novela romántica. I read a romantic novel. Number 2. Ustedes, comer is to eat, but I want to put it in the preterite tense. Hamburguesas, hamburgers. Comieron, third person plural. Yo, blank, temprano, ayer. Yo comí, first person singular. The 4th example. Nosotros, la tarea de ayer. Entendimos. Good. The last example for ER verbs in the preterite tense. Ella broke. Romper is to break. La muñeca. Muñeca is doll. Ella rompió. She broke the doll. And finally, with IR verbs. Remember that the endings are the same in the preterite for ER and IR. Usted escribió una tarea muy buena. You wrote a very good homework. Number 2. Tú viviste en España. Do you remember España? That's Spain. Good. The 3rd one. Nosotros, blank, mucho, cuando Juan estaba enfermo. Sufrir is to suffer. So we suffered much when Juan was sick. Sufrimos. Sufrimos. Para número 4, Roberto e yo. Now notice this time we had e instead of y. In Spanish, when you are talking between or among 2 people, it is possible and probably preferred to use the e. So sometimes you'll see the y and sometimes you'll see the e. It means the same. Robert and I. Roberto e yo. Recibir una carta de Susana. What would I use? Are you included? Ajá. Recibimos. Correct. Número 5. Ustedes describir, to describe, la casa muy bien. Ustedes, third person plural. Describieron. Now, let's review the animals of the Amazon, which you'll find in the margin on page 82 of Dime Dos. So if you'll turn to page 82, Do you see the animals there on the margin? I think what the heading is trying to tell you that in Spanish countries you might generally say one thing, but in Venezuela you say something else. So let's take a look at the first one. En general se dice anaconda, pero en Venezuela se dice tragavenada, tragavenada. In general se dice boa, pero en Venezuela se dice lo mismo, travavenada, travavenada. In general se dice capibara, pero en Venezuela se dice chigüeri, chigüeri. En general se dice cocodrillo, cocodrillo, pero en Venezuela se dice caimán, caimán. En general se dice jaguar, pero en Venezuela se dice tigre, tigre. En general se dice piraña, pero en Venezuela se dice Caribe, Caribe. En general se dice serpiente, pero en Venezuela se dice culebra, culebra. En general se dice tapir, pero en Venezuela se dice danto. Same animal, but because we have two different ways of saying it, one way is the typical Venezuelan way, and the other way is the way that a lot of the Hispanics in the other countries would say it. It's just a regional difference. You know, we have the same thing in the United States. Some people say soda, some people say pop. Some people say Coke, even though they're not talking about the brand Coca-Cola. They just want some kind of refreshment, and so they use Coke. So depending on where you live, you would use whatever term is typical for your region. And so those terms on page 82 would be the ones that would be typical for Venezuela compared to in general said in other Spanish-speaking countries. Now today, we have explored Animales del Amazonas, Vocabulario del Cuaderno, el Preterite, ir, ser y hacer. Vimos la telenovela ¿Qué decimos? Al hablar de lo que hicimos. We've reviewed and practiced the different forms for the present tense regular verbs y el pretérito. For homework, we've assigned Activity B, page 82, in Dime dos. That's 1 through 10. The second homework assignment was Activity Che, y de, page G29, G29. Remember, that's in the back of your book of Dime dos, and we want you to do all of them in Activity Che and Activity De of G29. And number 3 homework assignment in your cuaderno, page 18, Activities B, 1 through 6, and we want you to fill in all of Activity C. Students, keep up with your homework. Each homework assignment will only help you get better in understanding the Spanish language. If you fall behind, don't skip the assignment. Take some time before or after school to catch up. Now, if you miss an assignment, make sure you replay the video. That will help you understand how to do your homework. Now, we want to thank all of you for working so hard and so well. We also appreciate the hard work provided by your facilitator as the two of us, as we work together this semester in Aprendamos Español. So, until next class, remember, excellence in academics and excellence in behaviors, it makes for a terrific student. Muchas gracias. Adiós.